We're joined now by Natalia from the Ukraine. She's joining me from Kyiv just hours after President Biden has left Ukraine. But let's just first look at that surprise visit made by the US President just a few days before the anniversary of the invasion.
A surprise visit to war zone Kyiv by the world's most powerful leader. With 4 days left for the first anniversary of the war, in which tens of thousands have been killed, US President Joe Biden had a stroll down a part of downtown Kyiv. His top secret visit, till video emerged, comes at a time when questions are being raised in America on the continued economic costs of the war.
1 year later, Kyiv stands, and Ukraine stands. Democracy stands. The Americans stand with you, and the world stands with you. Kyiv has captured a part of my heart, I must say.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said that there was no visit to Ukraine more important than this.
Президентом Сполучених Штатів Америки в форматі тет-а-тет, а потім в розширеному форматі. Це була розмова, яка дійсно наближає нашу спільну перемогу в цій війні. Ми можемо і маємо зробити так, щоб саме цей рік, 23-й, став.
What's clear in Biden's message is that there will be no let-up for support for the war effort. In a White House statement, Biden said, "I'll announce another delivery of critical equipment, including artillery, ammunition, anti-armor systems and air surveillance radars to help protect the Ukrainian people from aerial bombardments." The Ukraine has been demanding tanks from the US and NATO countries as well, also the F-16 fighter jet. After a lot of hesitation and fears that it would further instigate the Russians, Germany agreed to supply state-of-the-art Leopard tanks, and America said that it'll back up that effort by transferring its M1A1 Abrams tanks. Russia continues to hit Ukrainian cities by targeting key infrastructure. While this continues to cause immense hardship to millions, the Russian war effort has failed so far in its primary aim, to overrun Ukraine completely. Instead, Russia has lost half of the territory that it occupied since the war began, suffering massive military reverses. This is now a war of attrition. Who will outlast the other side? For now, there are no clear answers other than the fact that the Ukraine appears as resolute as ever in defending every square inch of its territory, something it's managed to do so far because of the help it's received from countries like the United States. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Russia hasn't formally responded yet, though President Putin is expected to address the nation tomorrow. And as we speak, China's top diplomat, Foreign Minister Wang Yi, is also flying to Russia, where he will meet President Putin as well. So joining me for more analysis of that visit is Natalia Lutsenko. She's the chief of the international desk of the private Ukrainian channel ICTV, joining me now from Kyiv. Natalia, this visit of President Biden, how significant is it at this point, just days before the first anniversary of the invasion?
As you mentioned previously in your report, you said that it's one of the most important visits of the American president for the last 15 years in Ukraine. So both the Ukrainian and American presidents said that and confirmed that this visit to Ukraine before the anniversary of full-scale Russian invasion to Ukraine is very significant shows to Ukraine a support of the American people. So basically, since 8 a.m., probably American president came to Ukraine, whole the city of Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, the roads were closed for at least 4 or 5 hours. At first moment, American and Ukrainian President Zelensky met at the Ukrainian church, Meghalaya Sobor. Then they went to the Mariinsky Palace, which is located not far from the Maidan Nezalezhnosti Street. And also, as you mentioned in your report, there was a huge surprise for all the Ukrainians, Ukrainian journalists and international journalists. Right. For now, as we know, Biden left Kyiv.
Natalia, thank you so much for that report for you live from Kyiv, and it's of course at a time a huge gesture of moral support. But let's see how Russia responds, because of course this is also being positioned now as a battle between the West and Russia. So President Biden's presence in Ukraine there, making that very clear with that sign of physical support. I'm actually flying to Ukraine. Thanks so much, Natalia, for that. But let's go across to Vishnu now for breaking news. Vishnu, coming in of an Air India flight being diverted. What are the details you have?
Well, just in the last 30 seconds, AI-102, Sonia, which is the flagship flight of Air India, flight from New York, JFK to Delhi, has made a landing because of an emergency on board, a medical emergency, we've been told, at London Heathrow. The aircraft landed exactly less than a minute back in Heathrow. Air India confirming to us that this is a medical emergency. The full nature of this, we do not know. The flight would have, it's a 777-300 ER aircraft, upwards of 350 passengers on board. It was flying, it's a direct flight, it was over Norwegian airspace when it turned south and then west, and it's just landed at London Heathrow. So that's the only information that we have at this stage. Air India will provide us with details. It's a medical emergency on board.
Thanks, Vishnu, and we hope that, well, with that quick action, that whoever the passenger is, that the medical emergency is resolved. But just sharing that information with all viewers who are, of course, may have relatives on that flight has been diverted because of a medical emergency. The other big headline tonight, the Prime Minister interacted with personnel from the National Disaster Response Force who just returned from Turkey as part of India's Operation Dost. The Prime Minister told them that India is always the first responder in disasters like this, and when the Indian flag arrives, the hope is that the situation will improve.
भारत ने बीते वर्षों में सेल्फ सफिशिएंसी के साथ-साथ सेल्फलेस देश की पहचान को भी सशक्त किया है। तिरंगा लेकर हम जहां भी पहुंचते हैं, वहां एक आश्वासन मिल जाता है कि अब भारत की टीमें आ चुकी है, तो हालात ठीक होना शुरू हो जाएंगे। तिरंगे की यही भूमिका हमने कुछ समय पहले यूक्रेन में भी देखी, अफगानिस्तान से भी बहुत ही विपरीत परिस्थितियों में हम अपनों को सकुशल लेकर के वापस आए। हमने ऑपरेशन देवी शक्ति चलाया। हमने यही कमिटमेंट कोरोना वैश्विक महामारी में देखा। अनिश्चितता भरे उस माहौल में भारत ने एक एक नागरिक को स्वदेश लाने का बीड़ा उठाया। साथियों, ऑपरेशन दोस्त मानवता के प्रति भारत के समर्पण और संकट में फंसे देशों की मदद के लिए तत्काल खड़े होने के हमारे कमिटमेंट को भी दर्शाता है। दुनिया में कहीं भी आपदा हो, भारत फर्स्ट रिस्पॉन्डर के रूप में तैयार मिलता है। अब तो भारत की सेनाओं के साथ साथ एनडीआरएफ पर भी देश के अलावा दूसरे देशों का भरोसा बढ़ता जा रहा है।
Let's go across to one of our other big headlines. Why is this February seeming like it's May already? In fact, we've already got the first heatwave warning out, and it's just February. Let's just look at the big headlines on this heatwave. A heatwave has been declared in Konkan, and as I said, it's very unusual for a heatwave alert to be declared in February. Which are the areas where it's increasingly becoming warmer? If we look at that, it's mainly coming now in coastal Maharashtra. In fact, temperatures are up in the Konkan heatwave because of warm winds coming from the north. Weather alert also said that avoid being outside between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. and temperatures higher even in Kargil in Ladakh.
Abnormally high temperatures are forcing communities to deal with the fallout, like rapid snow melt here in Kargil. Across the country, particularly in the north and the west, the damage and pain is immediate.
सेब के लिए चिलिंग आवर्स जो रिक्वायर्ड रहते हैं वो इस साल कंप्लीट नहीं हो पाए क्योंकि ना बर्फ ज़्यादा गिर पाई और ना ही बारिशें हो पाई। तो फरवरी के महीने में जो भी इतना टेम्परेचर बढ़ गया है, इससे नेचुरली जो आने वाले समय में फसल के लिए तो छोड़ दो, फसल के साथ साथ पेड़ों के लिए बहुत नुकसान होने वाला है.
Sporadic forest fires in Uttarakhand weeks earlier than usual. Wheat farmers fear a drop in their harvest like last year.
देखिए, गेहूं का जो समय है, अब इस समय ठंडी पड़नी चाहिए थी थोड़ा, अब थोड़ा रात में ठंडक महसूस होती है, वैसे वो गर्मी तभी रहती है, या एकदम से समय परिवर्तन होने के कारण जो है गेहूं पे काफ़ी असर पड़ने वाला है.
Delhi, where the temperature has been 7 degrees above normal, appears to have skipped spring entirely, going from a bitterly cold winter to hot days in just a few weeks. On the west coast, there are 2 heatwave warnings in coastal Maharashtra and Bhuj in Gujarat.
धूप ज़्यादा पड़ने से क्या हो रहा है, जल रही मनिया सन बर्निंग हो रहा है, उसके लिए थोड़ा नुकसान हुआ 31-40%.
The Met Department has predicted similar conditions for Delhi in the coming days.
आज की डेट में एक वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस है जिसका इम्पैक्ट जनरली जम्मू कश्मीर, हिमाचल प्रदेश और उत्तराखंड में आने वाले 2 दिनों में रहेगा. इवन आप एनसीआर दिल्ली की बात करें, जहां पे भी टेम्परेचर्स मिनिमम और मैक्सिमम सभी जगह ही अबव नॉर्मल चल रहे हैं, और आने वाले दिनों में ये इवन 30, 32, इवन 33 तक टेम्परेचर्स रहने की उम्मीद.
Winter is on its way out, but the dry and warm days are already here. India is set to miss a spring for the 2nd consecutive year. This is testimony to the fact that climate change is real, and as the report suggests, average temperatures in India may rise by nearly 4 to 5%. As we brace for a scorchingly hot summer, the worst hit really are North India's farmers, who are already reeling under a double whammy after scanty rainfall followed by unseasonal rainfall last year. With V.D. Sharma in Himachal, Mahendra Prasad in Gujarat, Sarfaraz in UP, and camera person Sushil Rathi, Vedant for NDTV.
Well, moving to the other big political stories, a crucial day today in the battle for the Senas. In one sense, Uddhav Thackeray has completely lost round 1. He's lost his party name, he's lost the party symbol, and now the battle is for the party funds and the party headquarters. Today, the Shiv Sena, the new Shiv Sena MLAs actually moved in and took over the assembly office of the Shiv Sena. Uddhav Thackeray has now demanded the dissolution of the Election Commission and has appealed in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court hearing on the disqualification of MLAs is on tomorrow.
Uddhav Thackeray arrived at the Shiv Sena Bhavan today in a show of strength after he lost the name and the symbol of his father's party to rebel-turned-Chief Minister Eknath Shinde. He challenged the Election Commission's order in the Supreme Court, but his troubles may just be compounding. In his affidavit, Thackeray says 19 lakh Shiv Sena members support him, but it's hard to determine the ground reality. Shinde's MLAs believe that Shiv Sena Bhavan, the Shiv Sena Shakhas in Mumbai and party funds will also be given to Shinde next.
आयोग जो है वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ इलेक्शन सिंबल के लिए ही उनका अधिकार सीमित है, बाकी प्रॉपर्टी हो या फंड हो उसके ऊपर उनका अधिकार नहीं. अगर वो कोशिश करेंगे तो उनको केस की जाएगी चुनाव आयोग को.
What the Shinde faction has taken over is this party office in the assembly. Thackeray is left with 15 MLAs and the rebel turned ruling faction put them on notice today.
सब विधायक आए थे, थोड़े बातचीत की. अभी 27 तारीख से हमारा सेशन चालू होने वाला है. 26 में चाय पान का कार्यक्रम होता है, तो उसके पहला थोड़ा हम लोग बैठ के बात करना है. अगर उल्लंघन करते हैं तो उल्लंघन के हिसाब से वो कार्रवाई होते हैं, वो लोग बाद में देखा जाएगा. वैसा कोई बात है तो ये हम लोग उल्लंघन वाले को सबक सिखाएंगे.
On this whole dispute, Uddhav Thackeray now wants a solution from the Supreme Court, and his first attempt will be to bring a stay on the decision taken by the Election Commission of India. Now, Uddhav Thackeray has lost control of his own party ahead of the crucial BMC elections, and now strategies are being made on how to strengthen themselves at the grassroots level, not only in Mumbai but across Maharashtra. In Mumbai, with camera person Rajendra Dayalkar, Sohit Mishra, NDTV.
Thanks, Soit. And on the road to 2024, well, the major focus is opposition unity, with the major Congress conclave coming up in Raipur in Chhattisgarh, where this will be top of the agenda. Nitish Kumar has appealed to the Congress to unite the opposition, but has gone ahead and announced an opposition rally on the same day that the Congress conclave in Raipur actually begins. The Congress is apparently upset with both Bihar allies, both Nitish Kumar's party and Lalu Yadav's party, for not joining Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra finale. Tejasvi Yadav, who was in Delhi, also snapped the Congress leadership by meeting Arvind Kejriwal but not meeting any senior Congress leaders. Meanwhile, there were raids on Congress leaders in Chhattisgarh just days before the Congress conclave begins.
The Centre's Enforcement Directorate searching the premises of at least 5 senior Congress leaders in Chhattisgarh, just 3 days ahead of the Congress's top leadership meet. The targets include treasurer of the state unit of the party on the alleged coal levy scam. Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel and chief organizer of the event accused the BJP of pressure tactics.
भारत जोड़ो यात्रा में जो सफलता मिली, राहुल जी के नेतृत्व में जो यात्राएं हुई, उससे भारतीय जनता पार्टी बेचैन है। छत्तीसगढ़ में जो राष्ट्रीय महाधिवेशन होने वाला है, सब लोगों की निगाह यहाँ लगी हुई है और इस घबराहट के कारण से ये कार्यक्रम सफल न हो, इसके लिए इस प्रकार से निम्न स्तर के हथकंडे भारतीय जनता पार्टी सरकार ने अपनाया है।
The Congress is expected to decide on how it will work with other opposition parties to take on the BJP. While Rahul Gandhi is on a break, allies, especially its Bihar ones, want him and his party to take the lead in uniting the opposition. In fact, today, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar lost a senior leader, Upendra Kushwaha.
हम तो कांग्रेस के नेता लोगों से भी सब कही दिए, अभी तो बहुत अच्छा यात्रा हो गया, तो यात्रा तो बहुत अच्छा हो गया, लेकिन अब इसके आगे थोड़ा सोच लीजिए। हम तो उसी के लिए इंतजार कर रहे हैं, जल्दी से जल्दी फैसला करिए और हम लोग को बुला करके बात कर लीजिए कि कहां और किनके साथ एकजुट होकर के अगला चुनाव लड़ना है।
हम लोग तो क्षेत्रीय दल है, रीजनल पार्टी है, लेकिन वही कांग्रेस पार्टी है, राष्ट्र पार्टी है, सब अपने अपने तरीके से लड़ रहे हैं। लेकिन अगर हम लोगों को भाजपा को हराना है, आरएसएस को हराना है, तो हम सभी लोगों को एक होकर के एक रोड मैप तैयार करना पड़ेगा।
Everything is visible to the naked eye. There are processes within processes which are always and already under play.
But cracks in the opposition run deep. Some in the Congress have been upset about both main Bihar allies, Nitish Kumar and Tejasvi Yadav, parties missing Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra, prompting the party to tell Nitish it doesn't need lessons for taking on the BJP. Nitish's opposition rally on the 25th of February clashes with the Congress's party convention, although some Congress representatives are likely to attend it. In Maharashtra, there are differences emerging with the NCP, and its reportedly growing proximity to the BJP have prompted the Congress to assess the situation, especially after their ally Uddhav Thackeray lost the Shiv Sena's name and symbol. All this apart from the well-known divide between the Congress and others like the Trinamool Congress, the Telangana's BRS, AAP and even the Samajwadi Party. With Bureau Input, Sunil Prabhu, NDTV.
It will be interesting to see the Congress's line on opposition unity at the Raipur conclave. Meanwhile, the whole battle between national versus regional is taking on a different color in Meghalaya, where the stakes are high. The BJP is going it alone this time after winning only 2 assembly seats in the last election, but being in a coalition with its partner. Now the ally is fighting alone, Conrad Sangma's NPP. So it's a high-stake elections. Also fighting here is Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress, and there's a kingmaker too.
The BJP's man in the northeast, Himanta Biswa Sarma, makes a strong pitch for why voters in Meghalaya must choose the BJP over regional parties like the NPP or the opposition TMC Congress. He is reaching out to the youth and targets former ally Conrad Sangma, who they had helped form the government in 2018.
सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से मेघालय सरकार को काफ़ी पैसा मिला है कि मेडिकल कॉलेज बनाओ, इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज बनाओ, यूनिवर्सिटी बनाओ, लेकिन ये सब नहीं बन रहा है। तो मेघालय का युवा आज अस्थिर है।
The BJP is contesting all 60 seats in Meghalaya, fielding mostly Christian candidates in this Christian-dominated state, even though in 2018 the BJP had won only 2 assembly seats after they contested 47. The BJP has chosen State Vice President Bernard Marak, who is accused of running a brothel, to take on Conrad Sangma.
It is a statement which they make in almost every election. So earlier the same statement was made for Bengal. And then before that the same statement was made for Telangana. Today the statement is being made for Meghalaya.
The BJP leads the government in 4 out of 8 northeastern states, in Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur and Tripura. Mizoram and Sikkim are ruled by NDA allies. In Meghalaya and Nagaland, the BJP was part of the government but is pushing to increase its political foothold, though regional players still dominate.
What I could see when we are trying to read the mind of the people, that people till today, they are not happy with what is going on right now.
The opposition Congress is fighting to stay relevant in Meghalaya, where the TMC is venturing into a new area.
If BJP is concerned about the people of the state and development, why have not they acted when the alleged irregularities and alleged corruptions were brought to their notice? Why have not they acted? Huh? Are they trying to use the other parties as their pawn?
This election in Meghalaya, Conrad Sangma is battling hard to counter the political charge of the main opposition TMC and allies, as also the BJP's push to snatch political space. With Ratnadeep Chaudhary, Anusya Mathur for NDTV.